Good morning. This is September the 23rd, Monday 2024, and we are in BBA first semester compulsory English class, where I had assigned some people to present. Before I call them, I'll spend some time explaining the lesson. Okay. So let me quickly take you through the lesson and make you understand certain things. An essay has a structure, and the structure can be roughly divided into three parts. We all are aware. We have the introduction. Come on time. Then we have the body. And then we have the conclusion. Right? We can divide the structure of an essay roughly in three parts. Fine. Now, from the perspective of format or organization, we have these three parts in an essay. Now, the introduction is often imagined as inverse pyramid. If you want to imagine I said wrong word. If you want to imagine graphically the structure of introduction, you can imagine an inverse pyramid. What does this mean? Here you write a very broad idea. You say something very broad. Here you make it a little narrow. Here again you make it further narrow. Here you make it even more narrow. And finally here you express your thesis. Now I will show that to you, this structure. This essay has 18 paragraphs in total. And if you see paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3 and paragraph 4. They function as part of the introduction. Now, as I said earlier, that the opening of the introduction is very broad. You say something very general. But that thing, what you say very general, that is somehow connected with your idea that you are going to present later on. For example, those of you who have read the essay will know this thing I'm explaining, and those of you who have come to my class without reading, you won't get my point. Now, here you see, in the first paragraph, let me open the first paragraph. Here. If you see this first paragraph, what does this first paragraph do? This first paragraph presents a scene. The first paragraph presents a scene. It presents a drama. Writers begin their essays in many ways. Good writers begin their essays in interesting ways. And why the beginning of an essay is important? Because if a reader loses their interest right in the beginning of the essay, they will close the book, they won't read it. So, in order to hook the reader's interest, I use the word hook, H-O-O-K, hook, fishing hook. What does fishing hook do? It has bait in it, B-A-I-T. What is a bait? Bait is something very sweet that the fish would like to eat, and the fish would be drawn towards that hook. And once the fish eats the bait, the hook gets hooked in the gull of the fish, and the fish is caught in the hook. The same thing happens, something similar happens in writing. Writers have a challenge. What is the challenge? How to attract the readers. Sit this side, you may innocently hit the camera, sit this side, this side. Yes. Writers have a challenge. What challenge? They need to attract the reader's attention, otherwise they will not read. So they use various techniques. One such technique that Lisa Davis uses in this essay is presenting a dramatic scene. Look here, she begins with an imperative verb. Call it the dance of the jet set, and she goes on. And what does she show? In this scene, there is a cocktail party somewhere in America. There is a cocktail party going on in this drama. And in this cocktail party, we can imagine there must be a lot of people there. And then she shows, now in a drama, there is a stage. So what is the stage here? The cocktail party is the stage here. In a drama, there are actors, people. Now, who are the actors in this drama? The man from the Middle East is one actor. The American is another actor. There may be more people over there. There have been more people, we guess. There might have been. But Lisa Davis chooses two of the actors, two of the characters, and she presents them. We have actor. What do the actors do? They take action. They do activities. They do activities. And this activity in which the actors are involved, this activity leads the story ahead. So Lisa Davis very wisely opens her introduction or essay with a dramatic scene and successfully catches our attention. Because the moment we see people, we are interested to know what are they doing there. And what is she so? Look the action. What is the action here? First action. The man from the Middle East falls into a conversation with the American. In a drama also, you have dialogue. In drama, you have a stage, cocktail party. In drama, you have people, the Middle East man and the American. In drama, you have action. They are having conversation. In drama, you have dialogue. In drama, you have dialogue. Look, the man from the Middle East is having a conversation or dialogue with the man, the American. And dialogue, remember, what is dialogue? Dialogue is expression of thought. Dialogue is expression of thought. And dialogue always accompanies action. Nobody speaks like this, like a bronze statue or marble statue. When people speak, they make gestures as I'm doing. When people speak, they walk and talk. Walking and talking goes together. They're involved in activity, action. Action and dialogue go together. Three things go together. Character, dialogue, and action. They go together. Characters speak the dialogue which expresses their thinking, and while they say the dialogue, speak the dialogue, they are involved in certain activity. Here, this man from the Middle East is involved in this conversation. He is enjoying this conversation with the American. Now, this man from the Middle East, he belongs to Middle Eastern culture, Saudi Arabian culture. What is Middle East? Middle East are the countries between South Asia and Europe. So he belongs to one culture. And he is talking to this American who belongs to another culture. So you see, there are two people belonging to two different cultures. Come on time. Come on time. They belong to two cultures. When you come late, my flow of the teaching gets disrupted. Okay, and I feel uneasy. Can you stay here? So when you belong to two cultures, you have two different assumptions regarding how to use space. Now you see, when you have two different assumptions, when you come from two different locations, background and culture, chances are, when you meet together, there will be a tension. Chances are, there will be a tension, there will be a conflict, because you don't know each other. Now look what is happening here. This man talks and he enjoys the conversation, and Saudi Arabian people, what do they do? When they talk with somebody, slowly they will walk ahead with the wine glass, they will talk and walk, they will talk and walk, they will talk and walk, and they will come so close to the other gentleman that they can smell their breath or they might spit on their face. This is very normal in Saudi culture. Very normal. Now this is what this man does. Look here, what does he do? Look what, look, see the action now, see the action. Takes a step forward, action. Now every action is a reaction. In drama, when the hero does something, the villain does the opposite. When villain does something, when the villain does something, the hero does the opposite. Action and reaction. Now this man takes a step forward to come close. Now look at the opposite reaction. The American makes a slight postural adjustment. In a crowd, for example, in a bus, you're traveling, and when you see somebody is coming too close to you, you don't complain them, you slightly back up. Without talking, to make sure that they don't touch your body parts. So you back up. You change your body posture. Postural adjustment, see the word. Postural adjustment. You are readjusting the angle of your body to make sure that they don't touch you. So what does the American do as a reaction? He shifts his feet and edges backward. So you have two opposite activities here, actions here. The Middle East man takes a step forward. The American edges backward. Now there are two opposite things happening. One gentleman is coming ahead and another gentleman is walking back. That means there must be something wrong here. There is a problem. There is a tension. Now, finally, the Saudi man keeps walking forward and the American keeps walking backward. He keeps walking forward and finally we'll see that the American is in the corner. That's as far as he can go. And the Saudi probably is talking like this, yes sir, as if he's going to kiss him. Now the American cannot go further than that because he's already in the corner. This is an undesirable situation that is created in the cocktail party. This is a drama. I said there are techniques of beginning essays, various, more than 100. Lisa Davis uses one such technique of dramatizing the scene. Why? To catch your attention. Because people like watching drama. When you see the Middle Eastern man, you wonder what he's going to do. When he steps back and the American edges backward, you wonder why it is happening. Your curiosity is caught and you get involved in reading the essay. That's a technique in introduction of the essay. Now move ahead. Now, from here to here, we have the drama. The stage, cocktail party, characters, the Middle East man and the American, action or activity, walking forward, walking backward, dialogue. Now you have here. In academic writing, this is an example of academic writing. And academic writing is highly respected because in academic writing, when you say something, it's not enough. People will not trust you simply because you say it. You need to bring support from other sources to back up what you are saying. So you get the impression that it's not only me saying so. Look, this expert also has the same view. When you bring other experts' views, what are you doing? You are making yourself more credible. As a writer, you are making yourself more credible. Now look what is happening here. By the end of the cocktail party, says Middle East expert Peter Bechtold of the State Department's Foreign Service Institute, you have an American in each corner of the room because that's as far as they can back up. Now this name, Peter Bechtold, this is called authority. In academic writing, we call this source authority. What is authority? Authority is any scholar, any scientist, any learned man, any writer whose ideas you are quoting to support your idea. What is Lisa Davies' idea? Lisa Davies' idea is that when Arabians and Americans meet, there is a problem. And to back up this idea that when Arabians and Americans meet, there is a problem, what does Lisa Davies do? She brings an authority. What is that authority? Peter Bechtold. Now, who is Peter Bechtold? An expert. He is not a normal person. Expert on what? Expert about Middle East culture. Your authority in research, I'm also teaching research here, understand please. This is a piece of research. In research, your subject is Middle East culture. Lisa Davies is writing about Middle East culture. So how can we believe her? We may raise a question, oh, Davies is American. How does she know about Middle East culture then? Why should we trust her? Then what does she do? To make herself more credible, she brings a quotation from a person who is an expert about Middle East culture. And what is the quotation? By the end of the cocktail party, you have an American in each corner of the room, because that's as far as they can back up. When this paragraph ends, we have a climax. What climax? We have a climax. There was activity. Now climax is the Middle Eastern man has pushed the American in the corner. Now this is how the essay opens, with a dramatic scene to catch your attention. And I was talking earlier about the pyramid, inverted pyramid. Now look here. This essay is about intercultural communication. Now you see one guy from Middle East. Now you see another guy from America. Now you see they're having a conversation. Intercultural communication. So the topic has been introduced in the opening paragraph, indirectly, in a broad way, through this drama. Right? Now this essay is about body language. Because intercultural communication, it's about non-verbal communication. This essay is about non-verbal intercultural communication. And non-verbal communication means mostly about the body. How you display your body, how you present your body. Non-verbal communication is about body, gesture, posture, dressing, hygiene, etc. Now that you see the body language here, how does this man use the body? He moves forward. How does he use the body? He moves backward. So as I said earlier, in this inverted pyramid, I said in the first paragraph, the writer might introduce the topic in a very broad way. Now you can sense the tension. Now you can sense the tension in the drama. Every drama, every story opens with a very normal situation. This story, this essay, this drama opens in a very normal situation. What is normal? There are two people having conversation, very normal thing. There is a cocktail party. There are two people, they are talking, very normal thing. Nothing is abnormal there. And this, it begins with normal thing. Then somebody does something, an action, an activity. It's like poking. It's like throwing a stone in the pond. When you throw a stone in the pond, the water is silent. When you throw the pond, ripples emerge, right? Ripples emerge. So what is the stone here? This Middle East man is stepping forward. This is the activity that creates the problem. If he had been sitting right over there and not approaching the American, no problem would emerge. If this Middle East man had not stepped forward, no problem would emerge. They will talk normally. But he does something, and this something breaks the normalcy and creates tension. This tension develops into conflict. This conflict creates problem. And this essay is about problem. This essay is about problem. What problem? The problem that emerges when two people belonging to two different cultures are not aware about the cultural assumptions regarding how each of them uses space. And as a result, innocently, unknowingly, they encroach each other's personal space. In the opening scene, the American has a personal space. The American has a personal space, 18 inches. You can't come closer. If you come, either you're a terrorist, or you're a gay, or you're a lesbian, or you're an intimate family member. Strangers cannot come closer than 18 inches in public places while having conversation. And the Middle East man doesn't know this thing. He doesn't know this thing. He thinks the American is also like me, the Saudi. So he goes close and he interrupts his privacy. The Middle East man interrupts the American's private zone, privacy zone, personal zone. And this interruption, this intruding, this trespassing, the right word is trespass. This is her zone. If I come this close, I'm trespassing. I'm trespassing. It can create a problem. I'm trespassing. I must stay this way, this away. Right? That's our private zone. If I cross, I'm trespassing. The Middle East man trespasses the American's privacy zone. This breaks normalcy, creates tension, leading to conflict and creating the problem. What problem? What problem? If we move to second paragraph, look how the it develops. Now come to second paragraph. And I told you earlier about the reverse pyramid. Let me draw once again here. Am I speaking too fast? If I'm too fast, raise your hand and say I'm not able to catch what you're saying, sir. Okay. Now look, what do you do when an amiable chat leaves one? This you. In writing, we have a speaker or author or writer, Lisa Davies. Then we have a listener. This is a listener and ask the question, who is this? Most probably this is an American, because this essay was written by American for the Americans. What do you do? Who is speaking this sentence? Lisa Davies is speaking this sentence. In other words, a writer is speaking this sentence. Who is a writer? A speaker is a writer. A writer is a writer. Anybody, right now in this class, Divakar sir is a writer. You are the audience. Who is a writer? A writer is anybody who speaks in a public speech at a public place. So in this class, right now, Divakar sir is a writer. In the essay, we have a writer. Ask a question, Divakar sir, who is that writer? One answer can be Lisa Davies, but not sure. Now, what do you do? This you, if you see, here is you in the first paragraph. Here is you in the second paragraph. This you is pronoun. Same pronoun at the end of first paragraph. Same pronoun at the beginning of second paragraph. It connects. This is called cohesion. In writing, writers use various devices and techniques to link two paragraphs. And when you can connect two paragraphs, they go together, they fit together. Cohesion comes from the word cohere, Latin word. And cohere means to go together. They are cohesive because both of them are girls. She is not uncomfortable because besides she is a girl. Imagine he comes here, she might be uncomfortable. Right? Cohesion means to go together comfortably. Compatible, to be compatible. You say, I can't love you because you're not compatible to me. Cohere means to go together. Now, I said the first paragraph and the second paragraph can go together because the pronoun at the end of first paragraph and the pronoun at the end of second paragraph, second paragraph are same. They connect. Such connection creates unity in writing. Good writing has unity. Good writing is, does somebody have a necklace or any chain like thing? Can you give me? I want someone to give me a chain. Can you take it out and help me? Yes, here it is. Thank you. Look here. This is an example, image of good writing. Now each of the beads here, they are single paragraphs. Each of the bead is a single paragraph. And look, as I stress, the beads are, what is put into the thread? The thread. What is this thread? The devices that connect paragraphs together. One such thread here is the pronoun you. I will show more. Okay? So as I said, in this, what do you call this, child? What do you call this?
I have no idea.
What do you call this? What do you call this? What do you call this? Yeah?
Bracelet.
Bracelet. Okay, fine. Thank you for the word. So in this, I thought there is another word. In this bracelet, if I stress, there are maybe more than dozen, 20 beads. Each of the beads is woven together, put together, connected together with a thread. The thread goes through all the beads. There is something in an essay that goes through all the paragraphs. What is that? The theme. The theme. Writers create unity in their writing through theme. This essay has the theme of intercultural communication, space use. You will see every paragraph says something about that theme. And technically, writers connect paragraphs, as I showed you. This is called pronoun reference, or you can say, not exactly, but this is one example to show connection. Now, I said the first paragraph is very broad, and I showed you drama. The second paragraph, as you can see, is narrower. What does narrow mean? In writing, narrowing down your topic means, first you say in general, then you become more specific. For example, if I say, men are mortal, I am making a very general statement. It applies to 7 billion people around the world. Men are mortal, very broad statement. Then I say, Nepalese are also mortal. I narrowed down. From men I came to Nepalese. Then I say, Nepalese Brahmins are more mortal. I narrowed further. From the category, broad category Nepali, I came to the species Brahmin. Then I say, I am a mortal. Now I became very specific. Exactly, I am a mortal. Look, men are mortal. Nepalese are mortal. Hilly people are mortal. Brahmin and Kshatriyas are mortal. Brahmins are mortal. Divakar is mortal. Divakar is very specific, particular. Men is general. Writers begin their introduction with a general statement and then come down to specific statement. Now, let me show this narrowing down here. Look here. In the first paragraph, you saw a scene. In the second paragraph, you know the consequence now. What is the consequence here? Look at the consequence. How does the Middle man feel? He feels amiable because he is getting to talk to a person. But the American, he feels bullied. This essay is about, what is the topic of the essay? The topic of this essay is how misuse of personal space in intercultural communications might lead to misunderstanding and a bad feeling. That is the topic of the essay. And you see clearly that theme here. One feels nice, another feels bad. Right? Then if you come to the end of the essay, see the word problem. Because this essay is a problem solution essay. Argumentative essays can have two structures. One, position essay. She is participating in a debate program at LSEM, and the topic is abortion. And she chooses to say that abortion should be legal. And he is also participating in the same debate. And he says, no, abortion should be illegal. So she is taking one position, he is taking another position. This is called position argument. This is called, now suppose we have another debate, traffic congestion. She participates and she says, Divakar sir, I have a plan to solve traffic in Kathmandu. And she participates in debate, now she will define what is traffic problem, she will define. Then she might discuss causes of traffic congestion. Then she might discuss, here are my solutions. So argumentative essays are of two types, position or problem and solution. This essay has problem and solution structure. That's why right in second paragraph she uses the word problem. Are you clear? Are you with me? I had uploaded so many videos for you. I spent a whole day preparing. I am pretty sure none of you has watched. I know your habits. I know how careful you are. I know. All these things I'm saying here, I have already explained in my videos. Right? But I know you will watch shorts where there is a nudity. But you won't watch teachers' videos. Right? Because there is learning. You will watch shorts, but not the videos. Because you have this bad habit. Okay, leave it. A sort of distraction. Okay, come back. So I was saying, the writer uses the word problem, and clearly what is the problem? One is belief. That's the problem. And now at the end of second paragraph, see the narrowing. She uses the word here. They are using different language of space. The topic of this essay is language of space, and here in second paragraph she concretely expresses the theme of the essay. This is called narrowing. Here she presents a drama. First paragraph, second paragraph narrow, language of space. Now go to third paragraph and look what happens in third paragraph. You'll be surprised how she uses narrowing technique. Third paragraph. Everyone who has ever felt cramped in a crowd knows that the skin is not the body's only boundary. We each wear a zone of privacy. Earlier she used you. Now she uses the word we. Now ask a question, who does we refer to? It refers to Americans. This essay was written by an American for the American. This essay was written for those Americans who go out of America in other countries for business and diplomacy. And she wrote this essay to aware them about cultural assumptions in other countries. So this is the word we. Now she talks about zone of privacy like a hoop skirt. What is hoop skirt? In Victorian times, they wore a corset. What is a corset? Corset is a very tight body, upper body, garment. Very tight. If you watch HBO channel and if you watch classical movies, you will have scenes, romantic scenes, where a heroine is, young girl is standing with the hoop skirt, big, and her lover comes and he slips inside and kisses her. A love scene, romantic scene. You must have seen these scenes in HBO movies if you watch regularly. The point here is, you have a zone of privacy, and if your boyfriend is around, you hint him that he can come closer, and he comes closer. If your boyfriend, if your girlfriend is around, you give hints with the body language, expressions, eye contact, etc. And they understand that I am allowed to be closer. But if you don't like them to come closer, you hint with the body that they can't come closer. So the body, see the point, in buses, people touch you. When they touch you, you are wearing clothes. So what's the problem? There shouldn't be a problem, but there is a problem. Even if you are wearing this jacket and a boy touches you outside from the jacket, you feel uncomfortable. The point is, the skin and the cloth is not the only boundary of body. We have space as boundary. That's why you say, don't touch me. That's why if somebody touches you, it becomes a case of harassment. Touch, we are trained as teachers. Teach, but don't touch. Teach, but don't touch. We are not allowed to touch you. Touch is dangerous. Because when you touch somebody, you are transgressing their zone of privacy. You are breaching their honor. You are breaching their privacy. Now look here. In the second paragraph, she used the word space, language of space. Now she uses the word body language. Further narrowing. Look here. Drama, then language space, then body language. See the narrowing. Then how closely, look, what is body language? If you like someone, you come close. If you don't like someone, you stay away. If you like someone, you look face to face. If you don't like someone, you turn your back. If you like someone, you keep gazing at their eyes. Maybe you wink like this. If you don't like someone, you turn away. Your body uses a language. There are two types of languages. Verbal language, I'm speaking. And the language of the body. Language of the body. Okay, now look here. We have done 3 paragraphs, and I said, in introduction, there is narrowing. Now I'm taking you to the heart of the essay, the 4th paragraph. Now, from first paragraph, the writer narrows the topic, and by the time she arrives in the 4th paragraph, this is the culmination of the introduction. This narrowing means being very particular, being very specific, being very exact. Normally pyramids go like this, right? Pyramids look like this. But in about pyramid means you begin with a broad idea, the drama, you narrate the language of space, further you narrate body language, and finally you exactly present your argument. Now read here. At least we assume we are reading it right. Let me show one surprising thing. I've been telling you the techniques of connection. Let me show here. See, in the 4th paragraph, the writer uses the pronoun it. This is called continuous idea marker. What is that? Any word that expresses an idea which has already been expressed earlier. A word that carries an idea which the writer expressed earlier, that word is called continuous idea marker. Say with me. Continuous idea marker. A word that marks an idea which is continuing from the previous paragraph into the next paragraph. Let me show you how this is happening here. Look here. He talks about body language, and then he says, look here, this line. It's a subtle code. Body language is difficult to understand. If you belong to same culture, you understand. Has mat pagli pyar ho jayega. You understand. Because in Nepali culture, girls are taught from the childhood wrongly not to laugh and smile at strangers. So when a girl smiles at a strange person, they think she has fallen in love. Has mat pagli pyar ho jayega. A dialogue from the movie Toilet Ek Prem Katha. Right? That slogan which you see at the back of the buses in Kathmandu, that's a bullshit. That's a bullshit. Sorry for the word. There's something wrong they're teaching. Why? You can't, if you smile at somebody, does it mean you have fallen in love with them? Never. No. Does it mean so? No. But in our culture, the wrong assumption is girls should not smile at people. If they do, there is something fishy going on, wrong. They are in love. See the assumption. Then, look here. So when we belong to same culture, we understand the body language. Has mat pagli pyar ho jayega, the body language. Now look here. But. Why I highlighted? The word like but is called a contrast marker. What do we call it? It connects two sentences which present opposite ideas. Look here. Before but it says, it's a difficult language, but one we use and interpret easily. It is difficult, but we can use easily. Difficult and easy, aren't they opposite? They are opposite. Two opposite ideas are linked with the contrast marker like although, though, yet, but, etc. This is called contrast marker. We can use easily, indeed, automatically, having absorbed the vocabulary from fancy. So she says that we Americans, if we see another American behaving like that, we understand because we belong to the same culture. But body language is not easy to understand if the another fellow belongs to another culture. So this idea from here, this idea is referred by this pronoun. Look here, at least we assume we are reading it right. Reading it right means when I said we can easily understand body language in our culture, he says, I guess it's right. So the word it is for this idea from paragraph 3. The pronoun it in paragraph 4 stands for the idea expressed by last sentence in paragraph 3. And to understand what it means, you must remember this idea. And when you remember this idea, while reading this word in paragraph 4, it creates cohesion. It creates cohesion. Cohesion, what does cohesion mean? Anything that shows a connection is cohesion. Anything that shows a connection is cohesion. Look, hot tie has the same dots as hot tie has same dots. So they go together. That's cohesion. That's cohesion. Something that creates similarity. Something that shows relation. Something that shows connection. That is called cohesion. Okay, now let me move ahead slightly and explain you further. As I explained, do not talk. Let me see that you are listening to me seriously and trying to understand. And do not sit arms akimbo. You are supposed to be sitting actively at 90 degrees, listening carefully. You are supposed to have your pen in your hand, and as I explained, you are supposed to make notes. I can see many of you, I have been watching you for the last half an hour. Many of you are arms akimbo. You are doing nothing, you are listening. My words are going from this ear and they are coming from this ear. When my class ends, your brain will be blank. Those students who make no notes in class, they are the poor students. Who is a poor student? One who does not know how to note lectures in class. They are the poor students. Because they have no idea what to do in class when teachers are teaching. When we explain, you are there to quickly jot down what I am saying. Because when I leave the room, your brain, which always delves in past and future, not in the present, as the trainer said on day 1, if you remember, your brain forgets. Right? For example, look, this child. It's half an hour of the class and her page is blank. Her mind is also blank. And on the other hand, look, this child. It's half an hour, she has 1.5 page note. Now compare this child with this child. Look here. You can compare. See, both of them are in the same classroom. This child has a 1.5 page note from a 30-minute lecture. This child has a blank page. This is a difference among students. Okay? Even our fingers are not equal. So we are not equal. But I'm training you, reminding you that when I teach, your job is to make notes. We are not in a church attending a sermon. We are in a classroom. Okay, let's move ahead. Where did I place the electronic marker? Someone remind me. Where did I place the okay. Let me move ahead and show you. Now, I'll show you the most important component of any piece of writing. In writing, one most important quality of good writing is you're feeling sleepy. Go out if you need to, wash your face. Am I sleepy? Do I look sleepy? No. If you are sick, don't stay in my class, go to infirmary. You can't be lazy in my class, okay? This is a classroom, not a restroom. Okay. So I was saying, in the body, here is the heart. What does the heart do? It pumps the blood to all the organs. And the heart controls all the organs. The same blood that is pumped by the heart goes through the body. Now, you can use this imagery in essay. The thesis statement, there is a word called thesis statement. Say with me loudly. Say the word. Once again say it. Loudly. Okay. Say with me. T H E S I S S T A T E M E N T. Okay. A thesis is a valuable idea. A thesis is an idea which is very important, not ordinary thing. A thesis statement is a sentence. A thesis statement is a sentence. What is it? A sentence. A thesis statement is one sentence. What is the definition of a sentence in grammar book? The definition of a sentence is a sentence is a unit of words that expresses complete thought. A sentence is a group of words which expresses complete thought. If there is a complete sentence, you understand something. You understand something. Sometimes you say, somebody says something to you, you say, so what? If you say, so what? You are not getting the thought. You are not getting the thought. So a thesis statement is a sentence. Let me read down here. The paragraph 4, there are 18 paragraphs. The fourth paragraph presents thesis. Para 1, 2, 3, 4 form introduction. 4 4 is 16. About 21% of the essay is taken by introduction. 90% of the essay is taken by discussion here. 10% is conclusion, last two paragraphs. Okay, let's read. But from, at least we assume we are reading it right, means, look here. Wait a minute. We can easily understand language of space. We can easily understand language of space. This is what he was saying in the previous paragraph. So it means at least we Americans, when we are in America, talking to other Americans, we understand how we use space. I repeat, it means we Americans, when we are inside America, talking to another American, we understand the subtle language of space use. But whenever in argumentative writing, most of the time writers use but to introduce opposite idea. But now, from culture to culture, there is a comma, clause 1, clause 1. From culture to culture, comma, clause 2. From group to group, within a single country, clause 2. Even between the sexes, clause 3, male and female. Then the language of space has distinctive accent, confusing lot. And remember, in the second paragraph, Davies used the word language of space for the first time. In the third paragraph, Davies used the word body language. At the end of the third paragraph, Davies said, we easily understand body language and language of space if we have same culture. But let's not forget, the language of space is very different from culture to culture. The language of space is very different from group to group within a single country. The language of space is very different even between male and female. This is a sentence. Look here, it begins here. It begins here and it ends here. This is called a thesis statement. A thesis statement is a sentence that expresses an idea which is so important that you can explain that idea in 1 paragraph, 2, 3, 4 paragraph, in 20 page, 30 page, 1000 page. Gravitation, an idea. And you can write 500 pages on that. The theory of gravitation. So what is a thesis statement? An idea which is so weighty, which is so grave, which is so serious, which is so important, which is so valuable, which is so big that you can explain that idea in 5, 6, 700,000 pages. Now you ask a question, Divakar sir, how do we get that idea? Thesis statement is produced as a result of long study. You arrive at a thesis statement only if you work very hard. After long exercise, to get a thesis on a topic, what is required? A lot of reading is required. When you reach 7th semester, they will say you, now write a research paper. They will say you, bring a proposal for research. They will say you, your proposal must have a research problem. They will say you, your proposal must have a thesis statement. And you will be in the blue. You won't get what they're saying. So understand now, what is thesis? An idea which emerges in your mind after reading 100 pages or 1000 pages. Sometimes a thesis clicks like it happened to Newton. He was sitting under the tree, apple tree. The apple banged on his head and it clicked. Dimag ki batti jala diya. And Newton ended up saying, why does this apple fall down? Why does it not go up? And from there came the theory of gravity. Sometimes it happens that a thesis clicks. But remember, when the apple fell on Newton's head, Apple had already spent years as a scientist. Before Newton, so many apples had fallen on the head of so many people. Why didn't they think about gravity? Why did only Newton thought gravity? Because Newton was a scientist. Newton was a scientist. Okay, so let me explain. Now this thesis, as I said, is hard. How? It is a plan of development for the essay. Now here she says that language of space is different. It's like accent. What is accent? Look, my English. My English is not very good. If there was an Australian or American or British in this class, you will compare, you will say, Divakar sir, he speaks better than you. Accent is the very minor difference in the way people pronounce words of a language from region to region. If you meet a Japali speaking Nepali, and if you meet a person from far west speaking Nepali, you will quickly realize that the Japanese pronunciation of the English words and the Baitadi person's pronunciation is not same. A Newar from Bhaktapur does not speak Nepali the same way as a Sherpa does. A Madheshi from Tarai does not speak Nepali the same way as a Raya Limbu does. This variation in the use of language among the people of same language is called accent. It is called accent. Accent is how a native speaker pronounces a word. That is accent. If I was American, if I was born in America, if I spend first 10 years in America, I will have American accent. That is called, anybody who learns a language before 10, they acquire the accent. हमको बड़ी हिंदी अच्छी आती है, बात करो हमसे। क्योंकि मैं जब पैदा हुआ तो सबसे पहले तो हमने तो हिंदी सीखी, हमको नेपाली का तो पता भी नहीं था कि क्या चीज होती है, किस चिड़िया का नाम है ये। नेपाली तो बाद में पता चला जब हमारे माता पिता बोलने लगे। Look, my Hindi. Why speak so fluent? Because the first language I learned was Hindi. I learned Hindi before 10. I learned Bhojpuri before 10. I learned Nepali before 10. So all three languages have natural accent. I learned English after 10. So my English doesn't have that accent. Right? My accent of English is not native accent. I don't have native accent. Because I didn't learn English before 10, before puberty. Now come here. Okay. Confusing umlaut. What is umlaut in German language? In German language, you put a dot like this. I don't speak German, so I can't explain it properly. Google it and watch YouTube videos for this. Umlaut is a very minor, untraceable difference in the pronunciation of a word, which only native speaker can find out. Foreigners can't understand that difference. It is so minor that only native speakers will understand that you are not pronouncing correctly. Foreigners can't understand this variation. Now the point here is that just as language is not same for any two people, the use of space is not same for any two people from two cultures. It is not the same for any two groups within a single country. It is not the same for men and women also. Now say with me, and we end the class with this. Say with me. Everybody say with me. The language of space differs from culture to culture. No two people belonging to two different cultures use space the similar way. Even inside of one country, different communities, different regions, different ethnicities, different groups use space differently. Not only that, men use space differently. Women use space differently. And it has consequences. Now what is that? Leaves a lot of room for misinterpretation. It brings misinterpretation. Right one paragraph. The Middle Eastern came forward, backward, and there was a problem. I stop here. Read rest. I'll explain tomorrow rest of the essay. Now assignment. Write down. Tomorrow we'll hand over page. Write an essay or write an essay, few paragraphs, paraphrasing para 1 to 4. In an essay, paraphrase paragraph 1 to 4. You will simply paraphrase. You will explain whatever I said. You will reproduce what I taught you in this class tomorrow, and when you come to class, you will hand over me the paper. In 1 page or 2 pages, paraphrase what I explained you right now. Write what you understood from this class. Thank you. Wait a minute.